Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of BDSM Bites brought to you by thecage.co, a friendly, kink-positive BDSM community. This episode, we're going to talk ethical play, including tips on how to play ethically and to ensure you have the consent of your partners. But before we go any further, please note that this discussion and BDSM in general are always for consenting adults only. It can seem that there are a lot of unwritten rules about BDSM, especially when you're brand new to kink. Even though the kink community is usually pretty good about educating newbies, it can still feel overwhelming to get started and even make some people avoid trying kink in the first place. So instead of being worried, let's go over some of the most common kink expectations that can help you make sure you're playing ethically. Don't out someone. Despite the progress made with its public image, BDSM still remains illegal and very heavily stigmatized in most areas. So, if you ever see a familiar kinky person outside of a kink space, ignore them. You can make eye contact, and if they return eye contact with a welcoming motion, feel free to approach. But as a general rule, do not approach anyone you've seen in kink outside of kink spaces. Make sure your partner consents. In BDSM, just like in vanilla relationships, consent is key. If your partner isn't giving a resounding yes to the planned activities, it's not full consent. Always steer clear if your partner feels pressured or uncertain. Make sure your partner knows the risks. Understanding the risks of BDSM activities is vital. In our previous discussion about risk-aware consensual kink, or RAC, we emphasized that you can't truly consent if you don't fully grasp the risks. Transparent communication of potential risks is essential for informed consent. For instance, activities like suspension with intricate knots might sound exciting, but the risks, like nerve damage or worse, must be laid out before consent is given. Make sure committed partners consent. Ethical considerations in BDSM also extend to non-monogamous relationships. Engaging with someone who is hiding their kink activities from committed partners brings ethical questions into play. You're not obligated to disclose your partner's activities, but you should consider whether you want to be involved with someone who's actively concealing their actions from those they're committed to. Non-monogamy is perfectly fine as long as everyone involved is aware and consents. Make sure all participants and bystanders consent. Public BDSM play can be electrifying, but it comes with added responsibilities. It's essential that everyone who might witness your scene provides their consent. Make sure that anyone who could see or hear your scene is on board, and do your best to keep any unexpected onlookers at bay. Balancing these considerations is crucial. If you're really into the idea of public play, you might also want to consider taking your scenes to local BDSM dungeons and play parties where you can play in a more controlled environment. Make sure your partners know everything important health-wise. Talking about personal health conditions might not be the most thrilling conversation, especially with a potential new partner you're trying to impress. But ethical BDSM play requires that your partner knows everything relevant to the scene. For example, sharing your struggles with depression is a must. It might feel daunting, but it's essential for your partner to have the necessary context to assist you if an episode occurs during or after the scene. This also applies to physical conditions, whether temporary or permanent. Avoiding play near areas prone to injury can be the difference between a fantastic, pain-free scene and an accident. And of course, using protection like a condom during penetration is a crucial component of ethical play. Your toys should be sterilized or disclosed. Understanding how to sterilize your BDSM toys is a must. Some materials can be sterilized while others cannot. If you can't guarantee with a high degree of certainty that a toy is completely sterilized and free of bacteria, you must disclose this information to any partner with whom you intend to use the toy. For example, leather, a popular material in the BDSM community, is challenging to sterilize due to its soft, porous nature. Being forthright about these types of risks is a must for ethical play. Never renegotiate mid-scene. Thorough negotiation before a scene is vital, but renegotiating during a scene is generally considered unethical. Many BDSM activities involve altered mental state driven by factors like arousal or endorphins. In these states, individuals may not be in a clear frame of mind to provide informed consent for further changes. Avoid introducing new elements mid-scene. Ask questions first. We answer other common questions on how to play ethically in our latest Cage magazine article, Ethical Play and BDSM. And continuing to ask questions is a great way to avoid crossing boundaries and to avoid ethical dilemmas. So don't hesitate to seek insights through discussions in the Cage discussion forum or by asking for comments on your Cage blog posts. If you aren't part of the Cage yet, come on over and create your free account right now at thecage.co. Get chatting about this and many other topics with our friendly international kink community. Thanks for watching this BDSM Bites brought to you by the Cage BDSM community. See you next time.